Okay, let's talk juice. Yeah, I got inspired to talk more about my journey, because if you don't know me, then you don't really know anything about, what I'm saying, like what I have gone through with the juice and how I came to find juice, how juice came into my life. So I firstly want to say that I was at a point where I had previously before been into, the bodybuilding scene. I did a bodybuilding competition, so I was heavy into the protein game, I was heavy into the protein, consuming whatever I could get my hands on, because I'm a relatively small girl. So I was trying to, I was looking to put on some weight. And so that means you got to eat more. But I found myself especially after my competition, I was going through like a host of health issues, skin, hormones, we're not even going to get into logistics of it, but so I found myself looking for, something that was going to help me lose all the symptoms the unwanted symptoms that I was experiencing. Long story short, it was my 33rd birthday. I came intuitively, I said, you know what, I'm gonna detox. I had been dealing with some skin stuff. I wanted to see it gone. Intuitively, I said, I'm gonna do a detox. And then I came across John Rose. Now, I don't know if you know about John Rose, this white man. He was like a juicing expert, and I came across his videos. If you're into the health and wellness scene, then you probably know who I'm talking about. But if not, look him up on YouTube, John Rose. And he pretty much broke down how to go about fasting, juice cleansing, fasting, whatever you want to call it, and what the benefits of it were, and how it clears out your system, especially if you've been consuming protein, meat, dairy for however many years. It's important to do like a cleanse because bacteria and old food and stuff can get trapped into the intestines and the colon, and then that's how you end up developing, some unwanted things within your gut microbiome. So it was all making sense to me. I was binge watching his videos, and then, I went down the plant-based rabbit hole, the vegan rabbit hole, and yeah, I was like super inspired. And he was like, go for however long you can go. If you still see, stool coming out, then, you still have a ways to go as far as eliminating. And, he broke down how much weight you would probably lose as a woman or as a man. And so when I started it, I was 113 or like 111. And by the time I got done, which was at 80 days, and I did not plan on going 80 days, but I didn't put a time limit on it. I just wanted to see how long I was going to be able to go. Could I actually sustain life on just juice only? Because from what he had said, it was definitely doable, and a number of other people as well. So, there's something to it. So yeah, was I going to be able to sustain it with the juice only? And I was working full time pretty much at this. Well, I wouldn't say full time, but the job was physical, and so it was. You could just say it was full time because I was doing a lot. I was working a lot and doing a lot of physicality. So anyways, I said, I'm just gonna go all in, let's do it. So I tried to do a couple days, and sure enough, I literally couldn't do it because I was tired and I was detoxing. And so I tried to do it for 2 days, and I was like, man, I can't do it. Let me try and do all fruit, because if you don't know, fruit is very cleansing to the body. Anything in its natural state that hasn't been processed, but especially fruit, because it has a very high water content. So anyways, where was I going with that? Ended up trying again, and I said, I'm gonna make enough juice this time to to do it. And so, you know, I did the measurements. I'm 5'1". I was 111 pounds. And yeah, so I did it. And every single day I would wake up, I'd say, you know what, I'm gonna go one more day. What's one more day? And then, man, before you knew it, I was literally 80 days in. Now, I do not recommend doing 80 days, especially if you it's your first time and you don't have that much experience, and or you don't have the will, drive, or ambition to. But if you're sick and you have tried everything, and you have tried things that are external, meaning I'm gonna take something that's outside of myself and put it on top, or, you know what I'm saying, like a topical, meaning like a cream or a medicine, doctor's gonna give you or prescribe you, aka a band-aid, right? Because if you don't know by now, Western medicine is more about diagnosing symptoms and not actually treating what the real issue is. So I said, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go for the real deal here, and that meant eliminating everything, including coffee, including alcohol, including anything, literally anything that was not juice. I wasn't gonna put it in my body, and that's exactly what I did. And the first 30 to 45 days, bruh, today is day 8. Today is day 8 of my juice fast, solid food vacation, juice cleanse, whatever you want to call it. And I'm literally feeling sick. I'm congested. I lost my taste. I can't even taste my juices. I'm low key but high key mad, bro. Like, who gets sick on a juice cleanse? Either it's my system like just really detoxing, or I caught a cold, I guess. I don't know. But to be honest with you, and I was kind of shook at this because after hearing a lot of testimonials from people who had done juice cleanses, they were talking the opposite. They were saying how they felt amazing. They were saying how they felt extremely well. They had all this energy. So in the beginning, but I still stuck to it. But in the beginning, I was kind of like, wow, what's going on here? Why am I not experiencing the same type of energy? Why am I not experiencing, all the positive symptoms that they have been talking about? And it was because my body needed to go through that phase where, just like with anything that you're detoxing from your body, you're going to be sick in the beginning. So I had a lot of mucus coming up. And yeah, it wasn't fun. I was very lethargic as well. My energy levels were up and down. Some days I would have a lot of energy, and the next day I'd be completely just done. So yeah, after I did that 80 days, I got the idea to start a juice business while I was on that cleansing period. And after I got to 60 days, I started to feel pretty good. Now, I did feel like I was getting to a point where, I needed to eat regular food, but it was really important, I feel, for me to start, because my plan was to go plant-based at that time and cut out meat and dairy, because I realized that meat and dairy were causing a little bit too much inflammation in my body that I wanted. I was seeing inflammation, and that was one of the things that I didn't even realize I was inflamed. And I look back at the pictures before I had done the cleanse, and you can tell in my face, and you can tell in your own face and in your own, your own body. So yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but so after eliminating all that, and after doing the 80 days, I got the idea to start a juice business. I ended up saying, pull the trigger on that, because it had done so much for me and changed my life, essentially, and given me new insight into how to go about eating that was plant-based. I'm not going to say it's healthier than meat, but I'm going to say I increased my fiber intake, which was very important for for my gut microbiome and constipation issues. So being able to go to the bathroom at least once a day, and I was not doing that before the 80 days. And I don't think I was aware of how constipated I actually was. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into juicing. And I don't see a life without juice in it now. And whenever I go a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days without it, I'm missing it, right? Because now it's become a staple in my life, and it gives me and it allows me to feel my best every single day. In the morning, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm going to drink juice before anything, you know? And if not, then I'm drinking it at some point. I'm drinking the juice at some point. So anyways, that was pretty much a little background story of my juicing journey. So far, it's been short, but it's, like I said, I'm not getting rid of juice. This, like I said, life without juice now is not the same. So what else do I have? I think that's really all I had to say about my little background story about how I got into juicing. And I'm still learning, you know, I'm still learning recipes. I'm still learning how to put fruits and vegetables together to make it taste good. You know, I'm still learning. So it's been an amazing journey so far, and I'm excited to continue on. I hope that you found you got some knowledge from this or inspiration to maybe try and see how you feel on juice only, because you can do it. But if you're gonna do a long extended one, just be prepared to, you're gonna lose weight. Obviously your energy levels are gonna fluctuate because your body is getting rid of certain things that have probably been stuck in there for a while. But if you're interested, you know, I'm doing I have a 1 day, 3 day, 5 day, and 7 day cleanse. So I would recommend going longer. The longer that you can go, the better. So, and it's a great way to transition into, I think that's what I was going to say. It's a great way to transition into eating plant-based, if that's what you're looking to do, because you can definitely live a fulfilling, a very active, healthy lifestyle on plants and legumes, beans, healthy, or not healthy, but complex carbs, sweet potato. And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, eating much more raw than I was before. And I feel good, you know, and I'm not concerned about protein, because protein is important, but it's not as important as we have been led to believe. So do your research, because I have done mine. Do your research, listen to people that have been living plant-based. Listen to people talk, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got a lot of my information, is that you listen to people's stories and you listen to people who have cured themselves on eating a whole food plant-based diet, or at least 80 to 90%. You know, and nothing against eating meat. I did it for 20 some odd years, right? But now I'm doing something different. So it's whatever works for you. But if you're open-minded and you're not seeing results doing what you were doing before, I recommend it. I recommend it 100%, mate. So yeah, anyway, sending peace, love, joy, bliss, all the good things. See you in the next one.